Right. Look, like I said, I'm not getting caught up in all that. I got a tough guy in front of me. I ain't for anything. And my full focus is not slipping up there, getting the win. There. I keep my spot. I get back in the ring. I get paid. So that's what it's about. I got to get back. I got to get back to doing what I do and building that momentum, and then it's up to my team to, push through the fight and then deliver. And I know they'll try and do that, and they'll work out the best option for them. The cruel, often unforgiving nature of professional boxing has rarely manifested itself more dramatically than in Sam Goodman's heartbreaking near miss with career-defining glory against undisputed junior featherweight champion Naoya Inoue. Not once, but twice, the rugged Australian contender found himself standing at the threshold of boxing immortality, only to have fate cruelly intervene in ways that would test even the most resilient fighters' resolve. Their initially scheduled December 24th super fight in Tokyo, which would have represented Goodman's first world title opportunity and by far the biggest payday of his career, was postponed due to circumstances beyond his control. The rescheduled January 24th date promised redemption, only to collapse in devastating fashion when Goodman suffered a grotesque gash above his left eyelid during his final sparring session, an injury so severe it required immediate plastic surgery and left the 26-year-old staring at both physical and financial ruin. The emotional toll of these back-to-back disappointments was palpable last week as Goodman 20-0 8 Kosas made his cautious return to the ring with a workmanlike 10-round unanimous decision over Cesar Vaca Espinoza, a fight that should have been a triumphant homecoming celebration, but instead served as a sobering reminder of what could have been. Goodman's raw, unfiltered post-fight comments laid bare the depth of his struggle during what he described as 6 months of absolute hell that left him flat out broke and pushed his young family to the brink of financial catastrophe. The Albion Park native's startling honesty about the economic devastation wrought by his withdrawal, the sunk costs of an entire training camp with no payoff, mounting medical bills, and the incalculable opportunity cost of missing his championship window provided a rare glimpse behind boxing's glittering curtain at the harsh financial realities most fighters face beneath the bright lights of pay-per-view events. His methodical 119 to 109, 119 to 109, 118 to 110 victory over the game, but overmatched Espinoza at Sydney's historic Horton Pavilion was less about the opponent in front of him and more about proving to himself that he could still compete at an elite level after enduring both the physical trauma of his injury and the psychological torment of watching his dreams slip through his fingers not once but twice in rapid succession. The bitter irony weighing heaviest on Goodman's shoulders is the knowledge that his replacement, the unheralded Yoon Kim, lasted just 4 utterly one-sided rounds against the destructive force of nature that is now Inoue this past May, a stark, painful reminder of how capricious and cruel boxing's fates can be. While Goodman was undergoing complex reconstructive procedures and scrambling to keep his career afloat financially, the monster Ine continued his terrifying march of destruction through the 122 pounds division, most recently surviving an early scare against the dangerous Rayon Cardinos, before delivering yet another chilling demonstration of his otherworldly skills. That June masterclass showcased the complete Naoya Inoue arsenal, the preternatural composure to weather a rare second-round knockdown, just the third of his illustrious career, the cold analytical brilliance to make instantaneous mid-fight adjustments, and the concussive fight-ending power that has cemented his place at top virtually every credible pound-for-pound list in the sport. For Goodman, being forced to watch these events unfold from the sidelines while rehabbing his injury has been its own unique form of torture. Knowing that his preparation had been meticulous, his strategy sound, and his body until that fateful sparring session primed for the opportunity of a lifetime, making Goodman's frustration even more acute is the rapidly shifting landscape at 122 pounds where Inoue's dance card now appears filled through mid-2025 with a veritable murderer's row of championship challenges. The Japanese Phenom has a September unification date, with WBA champion Murajonic Madel a potential December super fight against WBC featherweight Titleist Nick Ball, and a long-planned move up to 126 pounds in 2025 for a highly anticipated clash with fellow Japanese superstar Junto Nakatani. This ambitious schedule leaves precious little room for Goodman's mandated title shot, despite his hard-earned status as the IBF's top-ranked contender. The cold, calculating mathematics of boxing politics suggest Goodman now faces an agonizing choice. Either be his time, waiting for Inoue's inevitable departure from the division to fight for a vacant title with no guarantee the other sanctioning bodies will recognize him as champion or risk his mandatory position by taking dangerous interim bouts against rising contenders. Neither option providing the life-changing financial windfall or legacy-defining opportunity that the Inoue fight represented at its peak. Goodman's current predicament serves as a stark illumination of professional boxing's merciless timeline where an athlete's entire career trajectory can pivot on moments entirely outside their control. His situation evokes uncomfortable echoes of other tragic near misses in boxing history, like Hassim Rahman's canceled 2000 title shot against Lennox Lewis due to a cut suffered in sparring that eventually came 1 year later with spectacular careering results. The critical difference for Goodman lies in the rapidly closing window at 122 pounds, with Inoue's impending move up to featherweight and a fresh crop of hungry contenders emerging almost monthly. While his performance against Espinoza was technically sound and served its purpose as a rehabilitation exercise, it lacked the explosive